Miguel Diaz vs Johnny Lawrence, the modern day Karate Kid versus the champion of Cobra Kai during the 80s, with both characters having by far the largest fan bases in the franchise, which has resulted in very divided opinions on who wins this battle. I also think it's important to note that I'm going to be talking about Johnny from Karate Kid 1 in this fight, and not adult Johnny, as that really wouldn't be fair for obvious reasons that I don't believe need to be explained. Despite the divided opinions, it almost seems to be a unanimous belief in the community that it would be a close fight regardless of who wins. In today's video, I'll be breaking down and assessing the relevant factors of both fighters, and in order to make the most accurate analysis, I'll be looking at their physical capabilities, their skills, and overall scaling through the various feats they have performed, as well as the opponents they have faced, to prove why this debate isn't close. The first thing we have to establish is that Miguel started learning karate from a more skilled and experienced Johnny. There's this misconception that I often see, which is that adult Johnny is somehow a worse fighter than kid Johnny. This can easily be debunked by Johnny straight up proving to Kreese that he did not teach him everything he knows when they fought at the start of season 2. To begin Miguel's scaling, we first have to assess his gradual increase in physical strength over the years, and while he doesn't perform anything impressive during season 1, it's during season 2 in which he was able to break a steel railing calculated at 63 kilojoules. During season 4, he takes it up a notch by fighting on par with the likes of Eli and Robbie, both of whom should scale to Kyle and Chris in strength, who were able to destroy layers of concrete at 100 kilojoules. In season 5, Tori was able to break apart a stone slab at a whopping 411 kilojoules. However, it's important to note that Miguel likely wouldn't be able to exhibit this level of strength in his fights, as it would result in him breaking his hand just like Tori did. So for now, Miguel's strength level ranges from around above 100 kilojoules, but below 411. This would also apply to his durability, as Newton's third law states that every action has an equal or opposite reaction. Therefore, Miguel should be able to withstand the force of his own attacks. When it comes to his combat skill, he was able to defeat Robbie at the school fight during season 2, who at this point it stated that Robbie had learned everything that Daniel did during the Karate Kid trilogy. While he was mostly recovering from his injuries in season 3, after finding his resolve and beating Kyla, he started to quickly catch up and even surpass his season 2 version, which we see during season 4, where he was able to fight on par with Robbie, who at this point had learned both styles of karate, on top of removing his subconscious fear of ending up like Johnny. Thus, should be massively better than he was in season 2. Later on in season 4, Miguel starts having inner conflict, questioning his own resolve with his issues with Johnny, and as a result, he will lose his confidence during the All Valley tournament. This is proven as Miguel fought evenly against an Eli that was only using Miyagi-Do, who Robbie scored on with absolute ease during their match. It's during season 5 where we see Miguel at his absolute best. By finding closure regarding his biological father, he was able to remove any mental suppression after finding his resolve, was able to soundly defeat Robbie during their fight at the apartment, and only continued to improve throughout the season. In 1984, after winning back-to-back All-Valley championships, Johnny looked to win a third consecutive championship. This seemed even more likely as he was stated to be Kreese's best student during Karate Kid 1. While Johnny did lose to Daniel during the finals of the All-Valley tournament, it's important to acknowledge that Johnny was not at his best. This was explained by Kreese during season 4, where he tells Terry that Johnny lost his confidence after losing to Mr. Miyagi. And just like Miguel during season 4, Johnny's fighting ability would also decrease. To further solidify this argument, we see members of Johnny's gang such as Tommy and Dutch being able to score a point on a healthy Daniel, whereas even Kreese admits that Johnny was about to lose 3-0 to an injured Daniel in the finals. And since Johnny was stated to be Kreese's best student, if lesser fighters were able to outperform him, it would only mean that Johnny was not performing to the best of his ability. As the best fighter in Cobra Kai, he would have been better than the likes of Bobby, who defeated Jerry Robertson slightly faster than Daniel did, putting Bobby and Daniel on the same level, with Johnny being better than both. But how large was this gap exactly? We know that in the 1983 tournament, Johnny beat Tommy 3-0, although Johnny did say that Tommy didn't make it easy on him. If we assume that they both continued to train from 1983 to the events of Karate Kid 1 in 1984, it wouldn't be absurd to say that Johnny at his best would still beat Tommy 3-0 with some difficulty. And during the 1984 All Valley tournament, Daniel defeated Tommy 3-1. So while Johnny would still be the better fighter between him and Daniel during Karate Kid 1, the gap between them wouldn't be substantial. As for Johnny's strength, during Halloween right as Mr. Miyagi saves Daniel, Johnny kicked apart a street sign. This was calculated to be at 52 kilojoules, and as I've explained previously with Newton's third law, the same would apply to his durability, as he should be able to withstand the force of his own attacks. Overall, Johnny with his confidence intact was the best fighter during the events of Karate Kid 1. As for why this battle isn't close, it's stated that even by the end of Season 2, Robbie had learned everything Daniel did during the trilogy and should be even more skilled, as this was further demonstrated by Robbie performing the two-legged kick, something Daniel couldn't do in his 20s, along with Daniel himself stating that Robbie is more talented than him. Daniel by the end of the Karate Kid trilogy should be more skilled than Johnny during Karate Kid 1, as even during the events of Karate Kid 1, they would have been relative in skill. As such, Miguel even by the end of Season 2 should be levels above Johnny in terms of skill, so you can imagine just how large the gap is currently with Miguel learning Miyagi-Do. Strength and durability don't help Johnny's case either, as his best feat is only at 52 kilojoules, while Miguel even by Season 2 performed a feat stronger than that when he broke the steel railing. And even by the end of Season 4 and 5, he should be even stronger than that. As such, in terms of every relevant factor in this fight, Miguel by Season 5 is levels above Johnny from Karate Kid 1.